السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهورية.
السلام عليكم.
May peace be upon you. Please have a seat.
بسم الله الرحمن
In the name
الرحيم.
of Allah, most
السيد
merciful,
الرئيس
most
عبد
gracious,
الفتاح
Your
السيسي
Excellency
رئيس
President عبد الفتاح
الجمهورية.
السيسي,
السيدات والسادة،
Your Excellencies,
الحضور
ladies and
الكرام،
gentlemen,
عمال
esteemed
مصر
presence,
الأوفياء،
loyal laborers of
كل
Egypt,
عام
builders
وأنتم
of the
بخير.
future, to
نلتقي
many happy
بحضراتكم
returns.
في
We
يوم
meet
استثنائي
in this
يحمل
extraordinary
معاني
day,
البناء
carrying the
والوفاء.
meanings and symbols
إنه
of
عيد العمال
construction and loyalty.
الذي
It is
نلقي فيه
Labor
أرقى
Day
تحيات
celebration
التقدير
through which
لكلية
we
التمويل وكل جبين
appreciate
يتسلط
each
عرقا
hand that
من
works to
أجل
build
رفعة هذا
for
الوطن.
the best interest and
وليس
for the
هناك
prosperity
مكان
of this
أقدس ولا
homeland.
أغلى
There is no
من
more
أرض سيناء
sacred
الحبيبة،
place other
حيث
than
انسكبت
the
دماء
precious land
الشهداء
of Sinai,
برمال
where
الصحراء.
the blood
نكتب
of
اليوم
the
فصلا
martyrs
جديدا
were
بمداد من
mixed
نور،
with
فصل
the grains
التكريس
of desert and
والتعمير.
sand.
فمن منطلق
We start
التوجه العام
here
للدولة
construction and
والقيادة
development,
السياسية
and based on the
بإنشاء
wise
دعم التنمية
leadership
الاجتماعية
to
والاقتصادية
support in
وخلق
economic and
فرص
social
عمل
development, creating
تحقيقا
job
للأهداف
opportunities,
الموضوعة
and
لرؤية مصر
going forward
2030.
with Egypt Vision 2030. We open with the attendance of His Excellency the President, the company of railway industry, the National Egyptian Railway Industries Company, Neric, to carry out a comprehensive plan to modernize the ecosystem of railway industries in Egypt. This industrial complex we take pride in opening today will create job opportunities and localize the industry, achieving self-sufficiency to carry the slogan of Made in Egypt, which is one step on a long way towards a new republic to which we all aspire. We shall start our day with some verses from the Holy Quran to be read by Sheikh Hani Al-Husayni.
الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا أولئك لهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتهم الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس وإستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا صدق الله العظيم.
صدق الله العظيم. السيدات والسادة،
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed presence, welcome to the core of production and house of the workers, here where hearts beat with the love of the homeland and workers turn into national mega projects for the main pillar on which the future of our nation is based on, as we do not have a nation without the workers to build and protect. In the light of the current challenges, the workers of Egypt have been in the front lines, believing in their historic role. Now we listen to a speech by Mr. Abdul Munaim Al-Gamal, the head of the Egyptian Trade Union Federation. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, Your Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, may peace be upon you. We meet today in a critical moment to celebrate and to renew our unwavering pledge to support workers, as is the essential building of homelands starts at a production site. And at the memory and at the occasion of liberation of Sinai, the workers of Sinai are proud to congratulate you all at the memory and the occasion of such an epic moment, which embodied the willingness and dedication of a nation as the Egyptian people create their own future. What Egypt is witnessing today is not only development, it is re-establishment of the new modern state, a state that is building its own capacities and using its resources wisely with a clear vision. A state that is strong and capable, knowing of its path, and at the heart of this path, the Egyptian worker was present, a partner to this accomplishment and active in building. The worker is no longer a production element, it is a main pillar in the equation of state stability and the role of Egyptian youth who carry the energy of change and development are going through and forward to the future. The Egyptian woman is also a pillar for this production, carrying and bearing responsibility efficiently and effectively, supporting households and work sites. No development without work, and no work without stability, and no stability without a strong state to protect it. And here comes the role of the Egyptian Trade Union Federation with its all committees and branches to be a main part of the equation and a partner to support stability and reinforce production, as the Trade Union Federation has worked to support the Egyptian worker and support dialogue to be a mechanism for management under the social protection umbrella, and to develop the vocational training system, enhancing safety in production sites, and to reinforce the union presence across Egypt. The union action today is more coordinated and aligned with the reality and more supporting to the stability of the state. Egypt is being built with action and not reaction. It's not towards a sustainable state. What is being done in the file of legislation, and on top of which the labor law resets the relation between labor and production. Your Excellency, Mr. President, we appreciate your continuous dialogue to achieve social justice and to expand vocational training and social protection for unregulated labor. As a beacon for development, this support is not a choice or an option. It's a national responsibility, as the state cannot be preserved with slogans and mottos, but with work and willingness and stability. Esteemed workers of Egypt, you are partners to development, who go on and continue the great work. Your Excellency, Mr. President, the workers of Egypt are still at the heart of the construction battle. May long live Egypt, stable and strong with its leadership, army, police, and workers, and may peace be upon you. Your Excellency, allow me to present you with a commemorative gift, the shield of the Egyptian Trade Union Federation, to celebrate the Labor Day.
ولا يوم هنيأس أو نسلم للكسل. حي العمل حي العمل حي العمل. طول ما احنا ايد في ايد هيفضل في امل، ونلاقي حلم بلادنا بايدينا اكتمل. حي العمل حي العمل. خلوا المكان يفضل يدور.
منذ فجر التاريخ.
Since the dawn of history, the Egyptian workers were not only for construction and building, but they are hearts beating with lives, from the stones of the pyramids that have challenged time to the iron of factories forming the future. Here, where the work is mixed with determination, with Egyptian hands, the future is being formed. The workers of Egypt, builders of civilization and support of the homeland in each site and location with unwavering dedication. Now we watch a documentary film, the title of Makers of Civilization.
في كل صباح جديد تبدأ الحكاية بسواعد تعمل، وعقول تبدع، وقلوب تؤمن بأن العمل هو الطريق الحقيقي لبناء الأوطان. صناع الحاضر وبناة المستقبل.
إن الحكومة المصرية تواصل الجهد لتوفير بيئة عمل متجددة وتقديم برامج تدريبية متطورة للعمال بشكل مستمر لإعداد كوادر مؤهلة تلبي وتواكب احتياجات سوق العمل الحديث.
في الجمهورية الجديدة يحظى العامل المصري باهتمام غير مسبوق، وأصبح دعم العمل وتمكين العمال أحد أهم ركائز بناء الدولة الحديثة. رؤية واضحة لوزارة العمل تؤكد أن العدالة الاجتماعية مش مجرد شعار، ده واقع بتترجمه سياسات وبرامج وزارة العمل: تخفيض نسبة البطالة ورعاية العمال وتوسيع مظلة الحماية الاجتماعية، خاصة للعمالة غير المنتظمة اللي بتمثل جزء أصيل من قوة العمل في مصر. فكانت المنح الاجتماعية والصحية وإعانات الحوادث للعمال اللي وصلت إلى ما يقرب من 2 مليار جنيه خلال عام، استفاد منها 236 ألف عامل غير منتظم مسجلين في قاعدة بيانات الوزارة. وكمان العمال اللي بتتعرض شركاتهم لبعض التحديات بيتم دعمهم من صندوق إعانات الطوارئ لحد ما ترجع عجلة الإنتاج للدوران. فتم صرف مبلغ 213 مليون جنيه استفاد منها 21 ألف عامل في 47 منشأة خلال عام. وفي عالم يتغير بسرعة وأنماط عمل جديدة بتظهر، وزارة العمل بتتوسع في برامج التدريب وتطوير منظومة التدريب المهني بالتعاون مع القطاع الخاص وشركاء العمل والتنمية في الداخل والخارج. ومؤخراً تم افتتاح مركز تدريب مهني الحجاز بالقاهرة لتأهيل الشباب على المهن الحديثة وإعداد كوادر فنية قادرة على المنافسة في أسواق العمل. وفي عيد العمال تطلق وزارة العمل 4 وحدات تدريب متنقلة جديدة على مهن بيحتاجها سوق العمل لتصل هي وباقي الوحدات إلى كل مكان في مصر. وبتوفر الوزارة فرص عمل بالتعاون مع القطاع الخاص، فوفرت أكثر من 1,000,000 فرصة عمل بالداخل والخارج خلال عام واحد. وتنفيذاً لتوجيهات القيادة السياسية تم دمج ذوي الهمم في سوق العمل، وتم تشغيل 14,000 من ذوي الهمم بالقطاع الخاص خلال عام. والوزارة بتطلق وثيقة الاستراتيجية الوطنية للتشغيل للتعامل مع سوق العمل الجديد وتحدياته. ولأن العمل لا يكتمل إلا بالأمان، بتتواصل الجهود لتعزيز السلامة والصحة المهنية ونشر ثقافة العمل الآمن من أجل صحة العامل ولسلامة أدوات الإنتاج. فكانت مبادرة سلامتك تهمنا ومبادرات تانية كتير لحماية العمال. وفي إطار التحول الرقمي وميكنة الخدمات بتتطور خدمات وزارة العمل عشان تكون أكثر سرعة وكفاءة عبر منصات إلكترونية حديثة بتربط التدريب بالتشغيل. وبالمناسبة دي بتستعد الوزارة لإطلاق منصة العمل عشان تكون أداة من الأدوات اللي تخدم سوق العمل وتقدم خدمات لكافة الأطراف المعنية بملف العمل. وبتواصل الدولة دعم تمكين المرأة وتعزيز مشاركتها في سوق العمل، واللي رسخوا قانون العمل الجديد اللي بدأ تطبيقه سبتمبر الماضي، واللي فلسفته بتقوم على تحقيق التوازن في علاقات العمل وصناعة بيئة لائقة للجميع، إيماناً بأن التنمية الحقيقية بتتحقق بمشاركة جميع أبناء الوطن. وتعمل الدولة على فتح أسواق عمل جديدة أمام العمالة المصرية في الخارج من خلال التعاون والاتفاقيات الدولية. وبكده مصر مكملة طريقها بإرادة العمل وعزيمة العمال نحو مستقبل بيصنعوا لدها.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in the framework of the Ministry of Labor, keenness on protecting the labor force and the workforce to keep up with the needs of the labor market and to enhance the labor market stability, the proceedings of today comes to reinforce the state and to reaffirm the state's keenness on supporting workers, to support the vocational and training professional workers, providing real job opportunities. Now we listen to remarks of Mr. Ardad, the Minister of Labor. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, Your Excellency, President Abdel El-Sisi, esteemed presence, allow me at the outset to extend my congratulations to all of you and to the men of the armed forces at the occasion of the liberation of Sinai's liberation, which highlighted the ability of this homeland to restore its lands once again. And on this occasion, we would remember the sacrifices of the great armed forces to write the page and story of glory, to go on with the path and march of development under this wise leadership. We meet today with Egyptian determination at the heart of the battle of development and building, as the workers of Egypt will always remain the pillar of production and the true partner to the government and the business owners to create the future. The new driving force towards stability and progress, and this attention to workers under your attention to this file as the state is taking decisive steps towards a reinforcing production and creating balance between the two parties of the production process. Your Excellency, your directives during the last Labor Day celebration came true this year as my colleagues in the Ministry of Labor intensified efforts, each in their specialty, in order to improve the protection of laborers and workers, especially to the most vulnerable segments, and also to enable women socially and economically, in order to reinforce and foster a safe environment suitable to the development march in the new republic. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, since I have assumed office as Minister of Labor, we have intensified efforts and we could accomplish this new achievement in cooperation with our partners in Egypt and abroad under your directives by adopting a strategy to connect and link the education outputs to the market and work labor, providing job opportunities and enhancing the employment ratio. As we have convened different meetings with our partners to protect home workers, household workers. Also, we work closely to provide job opportunities, as we have provided 1 million job opportunities during 1 year to alleviate and to reduce the unemployment rate to 6.3%. In spite of all challenges and thanks to all the mega projects under your leadership, we have done electronic linking and digital linkage. Also, the preparations are underway to launch the digital platform to link the job seekers to business owners, improving the efficiency and minimizing the gap between supply and demand. We have reinforced the vocational system by expanding the centers and launching new models to reach the most vulnerable regions inside Egypt, in addition to providing grants in cooperation with international institutions, signing different memoranda of understanding to qualify the youth for the local and international job markets. The Ministry is going forward with this effort to improve integration with all partners, for example, the partnership between the Higher Education Ministry and the Education Ministry to preserve the human capital and enhance it further to bridge the gaps of skills. We are maximizing the capabilities to provide specialized programs. Your Excellency, under your directives, to reinforce the irregular labor, we have disbursed grants that amount to £2 billion, in addition to the emergency fund for the workers who have needed them. Preserving the stability of the job market and the safety of and sustainability of these jobs. The new Labor Act was a leap in regulating the job relations, which has received international praise to preserve the rights of laborers. It started already in last September to establish a new philosophy based on balance and justice between the two parties, the two types of production process. And in the framework of the labor awareness, we have launched the national campaign for awareness, and we have launched the Ask the Ministry of Labor campaign to communicate electronically with workers. Your Excellency, stemming from our belief that we must stay open to other experiences, we have worked at an Arab and international level as a main pillar to develop and exchange expertise and opening new horizons before the Egyptian workers in regional and international markets. And the respective offices affiliated with the ministry is providing care to the Egyptian laborers abroad and to intervene and solve any issues that might occur to preserve the rights of our sons abroad, as in 1 year they were able to restore the rights of Egyptians, financial rights, to protect them wherever they are. Your Excellency, the three pillars of work in Egypt, the government, the business owners, and the workers, will remain at the heart of the work battle with unwavering determination, believing in their national role to make the future of this homeland. And I would like to reassure you that the Ministry of Labor will go on with working with dedication to protect workers, upskill their skills, and to provide a safe environment. And the new republic will remain built with the arms of Egyptian workers with dedication, loyalty, and hope. To many happy returns. Long live Egypt. Your Excellency, allow me to inaugurate new 4 projects in the framework of the sustainable development and improving the health and electricity projects. The record of projects under your wise leadership at the path of development start with the first project today, the generators plant in شرقية الزقازيق. Good morning, sir. Engineer Said, you're the head of the شرقية sector for the Egyptian electricity company. We would like to congratulate you and celebrate the Labor Day. To many happy returns, sir. Today we are in the Zikasi plant, electricity plant, one of the plants that has been established in the 5-plant project in order to secure the electricity feed and the development projects for Greater Cairo, شرقية القهلية, Southern and Northern Sinai, and to support the electricity grid and to increase its capacity in the framework of the National Electricity Strategy. Any orders, sir? Second project, the Rashid number 2 plant. Good morning, sir. Engineer Rida from the Electricity and Transport Company, the Ministry of Electricity and Renewable Energy. We would like to congratulate you, sir. Today we are in a plant on 11 kilovolts, one of the plants established last year in a 15-generator plant project in the New Delta, Giza. Any orders, sir? The third project, Giza Governorate. Dr. Ishaq Jamil Ishaq, the head of the health model in Giza. We would like to congratulate you and celebrate the Labor Day. This hospital has been established on 16,500 kilometers square, and it has been designed according to the quality provisions for medical facilities to help the health sector in Giza with 10 million beneficiaries, around 100 and in addition to 11 beds for chemical treatment and incubators, 9 operating rooms fully equipped, and operation room for open heart surgeries, in addition to an emergency room working 24/7, in addition to blood test lab and diagnostics division, physiotherapy sector, all fully equipped with the most modern technologies by the Ministry of Health and Housing. This hospital is a new addition for the health sector in the Giza Governorate.
المشروع الرابع مستشفى طوق
The
المركزي
fourth
القليوبية.
project, Central to Hospital قليوبية. Dr. أسامة السيد الشلاقاني, representative of the Ministry of Health in قليوبية. Too many have your turn, sir. Today we are in the Central 2 Hospital. The Central 2 Hospital is the newest health project in the قليوبية Governorate on the area of 10,000 kilometers square. It's a 4-story hospital with 190 beds, with an emergency room to receive patients 24/7, with outpatient clinics with different specialties and disciplines, in addition to a blood bank and the dialysis unit with 20 beds capacity, in addition to 6 operating rooms fully equipped with the most modern technologies, 23 ICU beds, 16 incubators for early borns, in addition to 59 beds for inpatient diagnostics, with the diagnostics, MRI and CT scans, in addition to colonoscopy and surgery and orthopedics wards. Any orders, sir? Your Excellency, Mr. President, may God save you to Egypt, and may God save Egypt. Thank you so much, and may peace be upon you. They are not looking for spotlights. They are working with their efforts to illuminate the homeland, summer, winter, and at the desert and the cities. They are the true story of dedication, patience, and honor of work. They are the workers of Egypt who are turning desert into heaven and raw materials to great edifices. We now watch a small documentary film on Neric railway factory.
في عالم يتسارع فيه التطور بجموح، أبت مصر إلا أن تكون صانعة للتغيير لا مجرد صدى له. مضت برؤية ثاقبة وإرادة حرة شامخة ترتقي بطموحها فوق التحديات، ليشرق فجر جمهورية عصرية جديدة تبنى بسواعد أبنائها. وفي قلب هذا المسار تجلت بتوجيهات فخامة الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي رئيس الجمهورية برؤية ثاقبة تعلي من توطين الصناعة وتدفع نحو بناء قواعد صناعية راسخة تعزز السيادة الاقتصادية. وانطلاقا من هذه الرؤية تمضي مصر نحو آفاق أوسع في توطين صناعة النقل، حيث لم يعد الحلم مؤجلا بل واقعا يتشكل. ومع هذا التحول يبزغ صرح صناعي وطني متكامل. الشركة الوطنية المصرية لصناعات السكك الحديدية نيريك. كيان متخصص في تصنيع وتجميع الوحدات المتحركة، يستهدف نقل وتوطين وتطوير تكنولوجيا السكك الحديدية في مصر، ويسهم في تحسين الميزان التجاري من خلال تقليل الاعتماد على الاستيراد وتعزيز فرص التصدير، ويجسد شراكة استراتيجية بين طموح الدولة وخبرة القطاع الخاص. بدأت الانطلاقة في عام 2020 برؤية واضحة وشراكة تتشكل تعكس قوة الإرادة وتواكب الأهداف التنموية، من أرض خالية بشرق بورسعيد إلى قاعدة صناعية متكاملة لتتوالى مراحل التنفيذ من التأسيس إلى البناء حتى انطلق التشغيل الفعلي. واليوم يقف هذا الكيان الصناعي على مساحة إجمالية تبلغ 300 ألف متر مربع، تشمل مرحلة أولى بمساحة إنشائية تصل إلى 100 ألف متر مربع، ومبان على مساحة 51 ألف متر مربع، في منظومة تشغيلية متكاملة تضم خطوط الإنتاج والتجميع ومرافق الاختبارات ووحدات الدهانات والمعالجات السطحية ومراكز الجودة والسلامة. تمر عملية الإنتاج بمراحل مترابطة تبدأ باستقبال الهياكل لتدخل مرحلة لحام العربة، ثم مرحلة الطلاء، تليها مرحلة التجميع، وصولا إلى مرحلة الاختبار. يتجسد المنتج مطابقا لأعلى معايير الجودة العالمية وبطاقة إنتاجية تصل إلى 250 عربة سنويا في مرحلتها الأولى. هنا تصنع القدرة داخل قاعدة صناعية فريدة. نيريك صناعة هندسية تكنولوجية متكاملة وطنت بعقول وسواعد مصرية، تدعم سلاسل الإمداد وتعزز التصنيع المحلي وتفتح آفاقا جديدة للنمو، وتسهم في توفير فرص عمل تقدر ب500 فرصة مباشرة و1120 فرصة غير مباشرة. ولنيريك رؤية واضحة تتمركز في نقل وتوطين التكنولوجيا وتطوير الموردين المحليين وتعميق التصنيع المحلي، وبطاقة إنتاجية سنوية تبلغ 150 عربة مترو و100 عربة سكة حديد، مع خطط مستقبلية تستهدف مضاعفة الطاقة الإنتاجية والتوسع في تصنيع عربات القطار السريع. وقد تم التعاقد على توريد 500 عربة مترو بقيمة 762 مليون يورو وبنسبة توطين 35%. كما تمضي نيريك نحو توريد 500 عربة سكة حديد بقيمة 600 مليون يورو مع استهداف توطين كامل بنسبة 100%. آثر اقتصادي متنامي يوفر 266 مليون يورو من العملة الأجنبية بما يعادل 16 مليار جنيه مصري. هنا لا تقاس الأرقام بحجمها فقط، بل بما تعكسه من قوة وما تصنعه من ريادة تعمق التصنيع المحلي وتحد من الاعتماد على الاستيراد وتخلق قيمة مضافة مستدامة تدعم الاقتصاد وتفتح آفاقا حقيقية للتنمية. وهكذا تتجلى الإنجازات وتتحقق الطموحات. هنا في نيريك يبنى مستقبل واعد للصناعة المصرية بسواعد أبنائها. نمضي بثبات ونكتب فصلا جديدا في مسيرة وطن لا يعرف التوقف.
لقد أثبتت وزارة النقل
The Ministry of Transport, in cooperation with success partners, has proven that the dedication of Egyptians is able to transform dream to reality and from import to in this localization, and to shed light on this accomplishment, we listen now to the remarks by Kamil Al-Wazir, Minister of Transport. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, Your Excellency President Abdel el-Sisi, President of the Republic, esteemed presence, allow me at the outset to extend for you and the great nation of Egypt sincere congratulations because of the liberation of Sinai and the celebration of Labor Day. In the framework of your directives in our path towards comprehensive development, reinforcing the values of work and production, and your constant keenness on the vital role carried out by the Egyptian workers in different fields as the main pillar for the economic renaissance and development. Today, I would like to appreciate each Egyptian worker building and for each mind being creative and innovative for the best interest of this homeland under the challenges witnessed by the Egyptian state since the launch of the new republic and under the vision Egypt Vision 2030, developing the infrastructure and including the transport sector is a means to increase the state competitiveness and creating an investment attracting climbing. And this is our slogan today. Transport is the artery of development and a driving force for economy. Why localize transport in Egypt? When we planned to progress the transport segments, the costs were around 2 trillion Egyptian pounds, including local component in Egyptian pound, around 1.5 trillion pounds, exactly 1 trillion and 525 billion pounds, including foreign component around 480 billion pound, then it was $30 billion at 16 pound a dollar, which was 24% of the total plan costs. Of course, it's a huge number, but in comparison, comparing this figure to the economic returns, social returns that would come out of the transport projects, we had one of two options. The first option was postponing the projects till we localize the transport manufacturing in Egypt, but this would have delayed the economic progress. But the second option was the most difficult, which was we start the operation and the implementation immediately and to take advantage of any products once production starts. And the approach that we have adopted was the most difficult path, of course, and this is what have enabled us to carry out the targets and goals of our plan to minimize our reliance on imports and to maximize the use of our resources, localizing the technologies and transfer of technology, creating job opportunities and supporting the national economy. For instance, sir, of course I have many instances, but for your time to maximize the dependency on the local component after we have made our plans and what we are going to use of foreign currency which reached around $30 billion with the traditional way. But we have, for instance, the Alexandria Metro, which costed from Abu Qir to the mosque station around 71 million euro, around billion euros. In majority of it was in Egyptian currency and was in local funding. The constructions were done completely by Egyptian companies. Of course, recently we imported some, but we worked in parallel to provide all the necessary needs of these projects by Egyptian companies. As a result to the establishment of the steel sewers and the Neric factory for the moving vehicles and the start of its production, the foreign component was reduced to become 77 billion euros, and saving a large sum, which is around 50% of the cost of the foreign component that we could have imported from other countries. We are using these savings to carry out and implement different projects to save the treasury, save foreign currency, and we are going to use the foreign component cost for our basic essential needs that we have to import to carry out the second and third phases to get the Alexandria Metro. And instead of stopping at the Masr station, now it's going to Al-Agami and the third phase in Burj Al Arab, and this would be 75 kilometers on 3 phases instead of 21 phases in the first phase. Of course, there are different examples to reduce our reliance on foreign components such as the LRT, and with this localization strategy, Egypt will be a pioneering hub for transport projects, and we will have saved around $10 billion of foreign components. And following, we are going to carry out the localization progress so far. The LRT, the Festal Bayer company, Egypt for transformative text, to save foreign currency around 45 million euros by a collaboration between an Austrian company and Egypt. Also, the company and the factory to localize the railway components and manufacturing parts, around 40 million euros of savings annually. These are the old carts to be restored and maintained once again by the help of Colway company renovating these carts. The Suez steel factory is an industrial hub not only for the railways, but also its main production for railways is annual 800 tons with all of its types, LRT and metro, in addition to steel curtains and the I-beam higher than 80 centimeters that we use on bridges. All of these things that used to be imported, in addition to 6 factories from which we imported the steel and 10 chips. Now we have 6 companies and factories producing all of these components for all rail types, saving around 180 million euros annually. The Sinam company factory, there was a comprehensive innovation plan to manufacture the components of the diesel train or the light train. Right now we are producing in Sinaf around 1,000 carts annually and 72 carts for the National Authority of Railways in Egypt, in addition to 14 carts for the high-speed rail. Of course, this was a risk that at the beginning of the high-speed rail usage, we would start production with CEMAF, but we are confident that with our help and with the new technology in CEMAF, they will be more than able to manufacture the 210 carts, and already we have contracted with them around 8.7 billion Egyptian pounds to save around $170 million. We have now an integrated industrial complex in Burj Al Arab consisting of 2 factories. One factory such as Neric or CEMAF, but what is here untraditional that this company will carry out and implement the entire railway system that controls and dominates the train while operated. This will produce all the needs of the third line of the metro and the Egyptian company later on, and then we will start exporting, which will save around 1.7 billion euros in this project alone. The Trans-Brake company producing annually 160 brake components, which will save around 30 million euros. It might sound not much, but by adding these components to each other, this will save us a lot of money. To assemble all of these components, and with CEMAF, the savings will be huge and we will have an integrated industrial sector. Neric, here in Neric, we have an annual production rate around 160,000 brakes and 500 metro cars to renovate the first and second line, and 180 cars for the Alexandria metro to carry out this project by Neric and to save foreign currency. Of course, the second and third line projects will save us a lot, and we have around 35% today. We take the small 10 pieces to be the sides of the cart, we do all the painting, and then we have a metro assembled 35%, and the next phase or the next decade we'll have 60% assembly, and the one following we will have 100%. The traffic signs on roads are now manufactured inside completely Egyptian companies. All the paints are now being produced in national Egyptian companies, in addition to the asphalt, and in addition to all bridge building components. We are no longer importing any of the bridge component, or even for the light rail, the high-speed rail. We are not importing any of the pillars, whether for the regular bridges or for the light rail bridges. We see the best production at the October Bridge now being renovated. Also, the national Egyptian factories are now being localized in addition to localizing the maritime and river transport means. Whether was at the highest the capacity of 60 and 100 tons in addition to launches, of course, and eliminating the maritime pollution in addition to the shipping ships with the shipping load of 100 tons, whether owned by the private sector or state-owned sectors, in addition with the Suez Canal Authority and the armed forces and the private sector facilities. All that we have manufactured here was a 14 milli component. We needed more than that, and this is what we used to import. But now we have a factory at the Sukhna region, and it is underway. Also, the maritime ports, even the basic needs of ports were previously imported. Now they are being manufactured here. Also manufacturing the river models in a cooperation with the Suez Canal Authority or the Egyptian Ship Company or the Arab contractors. And lastly, localizing the bus manufacturing process. Also, five major factories were established to produce the needs of the transport, and we have contracted as the Ministry of Transport that in addition to 2,000 electric buses are now going to be manufactured completely here in Egypt under Your Excellency's directive to be used in Alexandria, Cairo and Greater Cairo, and indeed factories now are being equipped with the necessary equipment. We were talking about one company, but now we have two. As soon as they knew that we were serious, we have two companies working with us in this regard. In the MCV country and the factory, and the Gyushi factory that has been revived under your directive, and we cooperate with it as the Ministry of Transport. The Castor factory for trade and industry, GB Bus factory Ghabour. And what you can see now are models of the buses that we have produced and operating in Egypt, whether for BRT on the Brang Road or the Agda bus working in the administrative capital, or the ones we used in the COP in Sharm el-Sheikh, or the ones working in Upper Egypt, or the Superjet company. Many buses are very important also because many buses now are highly used in transportation between governorates. We introduced new minibuses to save fuel and to save costs, and in the framework of the transportation strategy that you have adopted, we have the LRT or the monorail or the metro or the ring road buses, we have waiting areas where these many buses can do the internal transportation, and they can be seen now in Shuruk city or in the new capital. And they are marked by colors. We have all of our needs manufactured here when it comes to buses and minibuses. We didn't, of course, miss to forget these shipping or cargo vehicles. For exports with Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, Libya as well, and the Northern Africa countries. Of course, we started with Jordan only, but we now have an entire grid, and we are about to receive 100 vehicles from MCV. And also we have a contract with Abaza company specialized in a certain type of vehicles that we have re-equipped, and it's now capable of transporting around 25% of the Egyptian cargo. In conclusion, sir, we would like to promise you that we will keep localizing the transportation manufacturing by expanding the local factories in a cooperation and partnership with international actors specialized in this regard to maximize the use of our local component. And when we add the carts and chariots being established at the moment, we have a large factory being established in October for vehicles, in addition to other factories for components, to have the production city of a similar one, a production city for vehicles in October to produce the chariots and carts. This will be a dream to come true to localize this major industry in Egypt. Thank you, sir, and may peace be upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment of appreciation and recognition, now Mr. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi will honor an elite of Egyptian workers who were a model of dedication and loyalty in the path of comprehensive development. The honorees are Wissam, the first decree, the head of the trade union in taxes and customs, the head of the working force in the parliament for participating in certain laws pertaining to work and labor. Mr. Musa Muhammad Hassan, the vice trade union head, for his participation in establishing the fund of the Nasr for Phosphate Company. The name of the late Abdullah Abdel Bari, his son takes the recognition on his behalf as he developed the regulations of the ministry, as he contributed to settling labor disputes at the republic level. Second degree order. This is for her contribution in preserving the rights of the Egyptian women rights, the Egyptian and Arab, as she has been the Secretary General of the Trade Union for Women and Children.
السيد عادل أحمد عمران، رئيس النقابة العامة للعاملين بالبنوك والتأمينات والأعمال المالية، وذلك لمشاركته في تطوير اللوائح للعاملين ورفع قدرات العاملين بالبنوك. نوط الامتياز من الطبقة الأولى السيدة كريمة عبد الرحمن حسن.
Ms. Karima Abdurrahman Hassan, the Director General of the Foreign Licenses at the Ministry of Labor, for her career and expertise at the Ministry of Labor, as she is an honorable front for leading women, a pioneering woman regulating the workers' market and supporting women in Egypt.
نوط الامتياز من الطبقة الثانية السيدة
The second degree order for Ms. Atiyah Sayyid Mahmoud, a legal researcher and daughter of a worker with a special need, in recognition for her career in the field of international
جعلها نموذجا
relations, a distinguished model in the labor policy development.
نوط الامتياز من الطبقة الثالثة
The third degree order for Mr. Wael Hamam Fuad, a mechanical engineer in the National Council for People with Special Needs, as a head of the council.
منح نوط الاستحقاق من الطبقة الثالثة
Medal of Excellence, third degree, Ms. Hiba Muhammad Abdurrahman, working in the profession of painting, thanks to her
ومواجهة التحديات المجتمعية
dedication and loyalty facing social challenges.
الحضور الكرام الآن مع كلمة السيد الرئيس
Now, with the remarks of His Excellency President el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most gracious, all praise is due to God, Lord of all worlds. Great people of Egypt, loyal workers of Egypt, distinguished guests, peace be upon you. Today, on the occasion of Labor Day, I extend my sincere greetings and appreciation to the workers of Egypt, along with my heartfelt wishes for their continued success and prosperity. You, the workers of Egypt, have always been the backbone of the nation since the dawn of history till now. The state remains firmly committed to protecting your rights and ensuring a decent and dignified working environment that reflects your dedication and hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, the comprehensive development that Egypt is witnessing today, along with the major national projects being implemented across all sectors, would not have been possible without the Egyptian worker. We are working tirelessly to localize industry in Egypt, and I would like to stress that the Made in Egypt is not merely a slogan, it's a national commitment and a strategic goal through which we aim to build a strong economy, safeguard our national security, optimize the use of our resources, and create opportunities for future generations. Through major national projects and by encouraging the private sector, we have succeeded in creating hundreds of thousands of new jobs. The Egyptian worker continues to prove that he is the cornerstone of the process of construction, development, and modernization. It's an unstoppable march so that Egypt moves forward toward the rightful place among advanced nations. Ladies and gentlemen, development can only be achieved through determination, knowledge, and the proper qualification of human capital, and with the integrated training and vocational training, and that's why we have directed to the pushing of the strategy of vocational training to be followed up. And in this regard, I also call on the private sector and civil society to prioritize vocational training and actively contribute to preparing a skilled and qualified workforce based on modern curriculum. The state is also working to expand employment opportunities both domestically and abroad, opening new horizons for skilled Egyptian labor that is qualified and trained to prove its competence regionally and internationally through agreements that we convene while ensuring their rights and dignity protected against any violations. On this occasion, and stemming from our keenness on the rights of workers, I have directed the following. First, granting the exceptional monthly allowance registered with the Ministry of Labor, regular workers registered with the Ministry of Labor to be granted a monthly allowance of £1,500 starting May until July 2026. Second, exempting certain categories of irregular workers from fees related to skill certification and professional licensing in order to integrate them into the formal economy and extend social protection. Third, increasing compensation for death in workplace accidents from 200,000 to 300,000 Egyptian pounds, and raising compensation for total or partial disability in proportion to the degree of disability. Fourth, launching a labor market platform to boost employment both locally and internationally and support youth skills development in line with labor market needs. Fifth, establishing a permanent committee comprising the ministers of labor, industry, investment, and foreign trade, as well as planning and economic development to respond to labor market demands. Sixth, forming another permanent committee involving the ministers of labor, education, higher education, and scientific research. And here, allow me, whether the people concerned with fifth and sixth, I need a regular follow-up and reports on the outcomes of both committees. Dear workers of Egypt, I reaffirm that your rights and aspirations remain at the heart of our priorities. We will continue to enhance your capabilities, expand access to training and education, increase job opportunity, and strengthen social protection, so that the Egyptian workers remains a model of skill, excellence, and dedication. Egypt rises with you, advances through your efforts, and moves forward toward a promising future filled with prosperity. We are trying to exert every effort possible, whether in agricultural land, for the workers who seek to work, and we are talking about 4.5 million fadans for 4 years, and for the coming 4, how many are they? This is 1/3 of the agricultural lands we had, and this is related to agricultural land. Also for labor and factories, the things that have been discussed today, and where we are right now, all of this is to create more job opportunities for our laborers. This is a proposal that you have provided. Of course, it's important, but you have to be aware that the unemployment rate in Egypt, in spite of the challenges, is 6.2%. That couldn't have been possible except with the labor sector in Egypt, whether the private sector or the government sector were creating and generating more job opportunities, whether irregular employment or formal employment. I think this is better than nothing. This is a message for everyone. We are talking around 60 to 65% in Egypt population under the age of 40. Meaning that a large portion is either already in the labor market or will soon enter the labor market. These 60% are around 60 million people. If you want to provide job opportunities, and before then education opportunities and healthcare, don't you think that you cannot think that it's an easy challenge? Of course, it's not an easy challenge. It's a major obstacle that requires us all to work hand in hand as citizens. We must be very serious toward the education, either public education or vocational education, to have this level of eligibility for the worker or the employee or the citizen provided with the job opportunity, whether in Egypt or abroad. Some of you mentioned agriculture and industry, and these are great suggestions. Of course, everything I can respond, there is a response, but it must be proportionate to our potential. And you must think of what I'm talking about right now. We must all seek to provide these job opportunities, whether at the level of small to medium enterprises or major and mega projects such as the one we are discussing today. But when you talk about around 60 million people to be provided with job opportunities in all of these sectors is very difficult. We are talking about 2 projects. In agriculture, the Egyptian countryside, we were talking about 6.5 million fadans that already entered the agricultural production. And the entire private sector is working on this project at the moment, and still. The second is the new Delta initiative, or مستقبل مصر, Future in Egypt initiative. There is 450,000 fadans that are being added now. And when we talk about Sinai, for example, to have 4.5 thousand fadans in addition to what we had before, around 300,000, this had to be supported by the infrastructure projects such as the Bahr al-Bakr water treatment plant to treat the irrigation infrastructure. And also there is the infrastructure for all of these fadans. Around 900 billion pounds are needed for the infrastructure of these 400,000 fadans. Now what's remaining is the operation of this land, the planting. The minister was just talking to me about the use of advanced agriculture, the advanced agriculture techniques, the electricity needs and the plants, the generation plants. We are working in every way possible to provide the job opportunities. We are not leaving one stone unturned. And I'm not trying to defend the government here. We are all together in the very same boat. And together, hand in hand, we are going to be able to do so much. It's not about emotions. It's not the fact of emotions. Of course, we're all Egyptians and we love each other and we really love our country, but it's really important to know what is going on and what we have and what is our potential to have this opportunity for us and for the next generations, whether in agriculture or industry or any other field. And that's why I wanted to tap on this point. Always, I hope that Egypt is prosperous and flourishing, and always and forever, long live Egypt, long live Egypt, long live Egypt, and may peace be upon you.
السلام الوطني.
The national anthem.
Was President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi attending a ceremony marking Labor Day, and in the course of the ceremony the President inaugurated via video conference a number of industrial projects in Port Said. He also held an inspection tour at the National Egyptian Company for Railway Industries. This company, of course, is located in East Port Said Industrial Zone and covers an area of 300,000 square meters. It is also specialized in the localization and manufacturing of railway and metro carriages. Now, marking the occasion, the President hailed Egyptian workers, saying that Egypt spares no efforts to localize heavy industries, as well as to empower the workforce to build a better future. Also, during the ceremony, the President honored some distinguished labor figures and workers, some people as well with special needs in commemoration of their hard work. Of course, as Egypt marks Labor Day, the message is clear. Honoring workers also means recognizing their role as partners in development.